So this guy has had leg lengthening surgery.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone from 5'5" to 6 foot.
Legend.
But the truth is, why did he feel he needed to do that?
Oh, I'm surprised you need to ask. Have you ever gone internet dating and selected a height?
No.
No?
And I'll tell you why, because I'm 5'1", so I don't care how tall my man is as long as he's taller than me.
Okay, so there isn't a as long as.
Yeah. I would prefer if he was taller than me, but it's not hard when you're 5'1" to find a man taller than you.
But if you ask the average female, like what's the ideal height, they'll be starting at 5'10", which is taller than average, significantly. The average,
Not anymore.
Does that change? The average height was 5'8" when I last looked, which is a long time ago.
When you were 10.
No, not there for a 10-year-old. We'll find out what the average height is for a man.
Average height male UK. I think it's 5'10". So in the UK, the average height for an adult male is 5'10".
The interesting dynamic here is the average height of a man is 5'9", and the average woman does not find a 5'9" man attractive. That's kind of tragic if you're the average man. Height it's one of the big red lines that men face in terms of trying to find a partner, which is if you're 5'5", it's harder because especially with the digital shopping that people do, you just rule out. Basically, people get ruled out quite quickly.
When you can filter, you can on apps now. You can filter by height
and all sorts of other things depending on which app you're on.
You can.
So it becomes really obvious that is there something you can control? It's very hard. It's hard to do to correct some of the things, but you can correct height. It's brutal. I mean, that operation is...
Let's look at what it actually entails. So here it is. It's obviously the most popular video on his channel.
Goes on, haven't let it there, everything paid for first less.
It's brutal, and he's sweet and beautiful and kind of hot already. Even without the leg lengthening surgery. But the point is, he's gone to this extreme, and this is a big extreme to be taller.
I think height is a huge part of what gives men status. If you think about how people work, there's this element of speed in terms of assessing people. Is this man competent and, I don't know what the other words would be, but there's something around, masculine to a degree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I understand that.
So, if someone's 6'5", really stacked, they have a certain presence that gives them status and power that
I understand
I don't
that. I understand that. Yeah.
And on the other end of the spectrum is the exact opposite. If you're shriveled and small and weedy and 4'11", you have a different presence. We always get into the same issue of like, well, everyone should feel comfortable. You shouldn't judge people by how they look, which I totally subscribe to. But the truth is, you also have an animal instinct that feels different when you're with someone who has a huge presence and someone who has a smaller physical form, and that's a big part of what men rely on in terms of having presence as your height.
Some people have put in the comments, all of that just to put 6 foot on his Tinder profile. Let him miss a stare and it's a wrap. But also, so you got those types of comments, but there's also lots of people commenting, asking where they can get this done. Mm-hmm. Genuine comments asking where they can get that.
I can imagine, yeah. It's not, people don't realize you've always been able to do this for years. I'll let you into... Something just came to my mind. There was a point because my mum's really short.
And you're saying you came out at 6 foot, huh?
Yeah. Oh, my dad's 6 foot.
Okay.
Or more, slightly more than that. So she was worried at various stages that I was going to be 5 foot.
Okay, right.
I was at size 11 feet, so that was she was saying, well, that's in your favor. But I remember her mentioning the surgery. I was like, well, don't worry, if you get stuck at 5 foot, you can always have that operation.
Oh, wow.
Because she was into the height thing.
Yeah. I think for older generations as well, though, like they subscribe to that traditional masculinity, traditional femininity thing a lot more. So for her, she was probably thinking, oh, I don't want my son to be not as successful in all areas of his life because he's only 5 foot.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a potential way that you could be held back if even just because someone tells you that you're held back because you're short. I've
seen it hold men back. So friends of mine who are male, I've seen them be held back because of their height, or at least they think that it's holding them back.
Yeah, and there's a large part is about that. Once the story's in your head that you are being held back by it, then you almost have to solve it. Otherwise, you are actually held back by it. But that's true with a lot of these things.
So I Googled the side effects, and it's awful things. So nerve damage, muscle damage as a result, to like potentially to get that result.
Yeah, I can imagine trying to stretch all
trying
those
to walk
structures.
again. You have to
Yeah.
learn how to walk again.
So I'm intrigued by what's brought this to your attention, like why you must feel slightly uncomfortable with it all. Like you mentioned, he's got all these other things going for him, but then he's had this. What is it that you think is potentially unhealthy about this?
I just think it's so extreme. It's so extreme just to be taller. And I mean, he's not just a little bit taller. He's gone from 5'5" to 6 foot. But also, in my mind, like, are his other limbs not going to be out of proportion?
I
Like,
see.
because like when you're a small person, you often have like, I have tiny hands. I have, my arms are also like not long as another woman who is 5'7". So are his arms now not going to be out of proportion? It's stuff like that just, I think this is so gone to the extreme, and he seems so happy and sweet and attractive even without being 6 foot. I just don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. Obviously for him it must be to go to that extreme, but
Yeah, I think at the bottom of this is that whole value structure. Within his value structure, it's clearly worth it. He wouldn't do it.
he looks happy. He's
Yeah.
smiling after his surgery.
But it's hard to understand, like particularly as a shorter end of the spectrum female who doesn't need anyone taller than he is before
yeah.
this. It does seem like a lot of effort for a risk for nothing, but that won't be his equation. I can understand that being a very annoying dynamic, being shorter than your peer group and wanting to solve it, seeing a way out of it, and then just solving it. I mean, it's the same reason. I mean, all surgery seems quite extreme if you think about it. Like having a surgical nose job is quite a brutal procedure to have, to remove a tiny little bump that most people don't even notice or think about.
Yeah, but you don't have to learn how to walk again. Do you think more stuff like this will keep happening? Because this is obviously exposed on TikTok now, and it also looks like he's happy he did it. So in theory, this is a good advertisement for this.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's a great advert.
So do you think this will become more popular?
Well, actually, one of the things I was thinking as we're leading into the show is that I think there is a perception amongst younger people that surgery is a quick fix, and but that is not a quick fix. Like that, I don't know if you have. Did you ever have braces?
I didn't.
So I had braces.
You criticised my teeth. Well, you didn't criticise them, but you said there could be some tweaks.
You asked me, and I said yes. When I got braces, I remember thinking I'm getting straight teeth. I didn't think I was getting 9 months of pain.
Yeah.
And then semi-straight teeth.
Yeah, that's so true.
But anyway, but there is that when you first go into it, you have that simplistic. Oh, I can get like with my mum mentioning it. I'll have this quick operation and I'll just be tall. At least he's showing all the rehab and the difficult side of it, because probably what you'd get on the Instagram is just a before and after without the 9 months of physiotherapy. So there's definitely something that can happen in the minds of people where it's oversimplified. They see the result and not the process. So let us know what you think in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.